All right, welcome everybody to Football Focus Weekly. I failed to say this last week, but we are sponsored for the second year in a row by Victory Chevrolet, where $19 down will deliver any new or pre-owned vehicle in stock. Make sure you visit victorychevrolet.com today, and they will take good care of you. Appreciate their support once again for a second year, and they've kind of supported some things even before we got the show started with the CFI Carolinas Make a Showcase. So we really appreciate that relationship. Brandon Gandy and his team do an excellent job in not only selling you cars, but supporting CFI and Football Focus Weekly. So big shout out to those guys. On the screen, you see what we got for episode 2 in season 7 tonight. Starting out, it's not in order of how we're going to talk about it, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to start out with the team area previews and my county rankings of Cabarrus County and Rowan County. There's some good football in both of those counties, and we'll get into that tonight with a lot of players, and then my rankings, and then we'll talk about the teams themselves while we're talking about the rankings that I'm doing for those counties. We'll get into a topic discussion. In high school football these days, you seem to have the haves, the top teams, and the have-nots, the teams that are kind of struggling and, in a constant rebuilding mode. But what happened to Parity? The middle ground, it's not as big as it used to be. And that's going to be a wide-ranging discussion because for me as a coach, a former coach, I remember, I've been kind of in all three areas. I've been on a team that's been a really good team that made run deep into the playoffs. Been on a team that hadn't been that good trying to rebuild, and I've been on teams that were kind of in the middle. But these days, we really don't have a middle ground. And you just think about it, most Friday nights, you pretty much know who's going to win a game. And, upsets are rare. And what happened? What happened to that middle ground? We'll get into that. I think there's a number of reasons for that. And then we'll end the show with Slimetime. We didn't do it last week because the show was 2.5 hours. And that's very, very long. But this show tonight will not be that long, I promise you. So I appreciate everybody who watched the whole show last week. This week will be a lot more efficient. I promise you that. We got 6 comments in the bucket already. Let's see what we got here. Shaquan, before the show, leaving a comment. Another week, another episode. Everybody smash the like button. That's something I don't even talk about a lot. I would appreciate if you guys liked and subscribed if you're watching on YouTube. That'd be great. I tell people all the time that, I don't do this for analytics or try to make it a paying career gig because there's not a lot of money in it anyway. But, it would be nice if you guys wanted to show some love. Then I'm not going to turn it down. So I appreciate Shaquan doing that. Shaquan also covered the Southwestern Conference Media Day yesterday. And we'll have some content from that maybe tonight, probably tomorrow. While we're talking about media days, I was at the Greater Charlotte Athletic Conference Media Day at Huff High School this afternoon. Really good time with some good kids and good coaches. It's always good to catch up, with the coaches and, check in on their programs. I've already started to put out some content on Instagram. It's kind of fun content on Instagram. We asked the kids what their Madden rating, not Madden, good gracious. We asked the kids what their college football 26 rating would be. And there's some fun responses with that. And the coaches chimed in, which made it even more interesting. So make sure you check that out on Instagram. I'll have a more complete media day video on Twitter probably after the show tonight. So make sure you check that out. The media day for the Power 6 conference is next Tuesday. So that'll be the last big media day for Charlotte. We may have something that we're working on in the future, near future. There'll be more to come on that. All right. The chat administrator is here, and he's not at work. All right. All right. I'm glad you're getting some legal time to watch. Appreciate the support. Karen Belk is here. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Good to see you, Karen. Chris Peavy's here. Good to see you. 10 Ways, I know who that is. We're going to be talking about you and your team here in just a minute. Kim Watts is here. Happy Wednesday. Good to see you. Let's see. Kareem. Just remembered who that is. Appreciate the support, Kareem. I appreciate it. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Let's see here. Aiden Black from the J.M. Robinson Bulldogs. What's up, man? I like that profile picture. It looks familiar. You might see that here shortly. Coach Seidel on those aforementioned Bulldogs. Good to see you, Coach. Here to check out what's going on in Cabarrus County, I'm assuming. Landon Harding, these same J.M. Robinson Bulldogs. We got a Bulldog attack tonight. Yeah, I like that. Like that. Coach Reagan's here to check us out. Excited to hear this one. The Cabarrus County excitement is palpable here. Man, okay, all right. Well, I guess we better get to it. we got more Cabarrus. Like, y'all keep coming in, man. Good to see you, Larry. Yeah. Mr. Sabo. Yep, that's another J.M. Robinson Bulldog. Ennis Styles, a talented running back from J.M. Robinson, checking in. Okay. Well, now a little bit Rowan County love with Jaden Arthur. Okay, all right, y'all keep watching, man. Keep on watching. Cabarrus Stallions. Now, let me say this about Cabarrus Stallions. Now, when I do the rankings, you're not gonna see the Cabarrus Stallions, but Cabarrus Stallions are a very good team in Cabarrus County. They support kids that are homeschooled, and they always have some good players that go on and play college football. And if you're in a situation where you're not, if you're homeschooled and you don't have a place to play Cabarrus County, reach out to Coach Pringle right there, Cabarrus Stallions, and they're gonna take good care of you. That's a good program. That's a good program right there. Thanks for watching, Coach. Appreciate it. All right, John Tavian Harrison checking in from the West Cabarrus Wolverines. Good to see you. North Rowan checking in. Okay. Good deal. Mr. Lattimore checking in. Good stuff, man. You might see a Lattimore mention here tonight. All right. I love it, man. Keep the comments coming, man. Keep them coming. All right. Now, I got two guys here with me that's going to help out on this venture here. First of all, he is the co-defensive coordinator at the Big I Independence Patriots, and he is known as Big I Shelby.
What's going on, Pep, man? What's going on?
Welcome to the show.
Happy to be here, man. Happy to be in the number one more time.
Oh, that's funny. How was day one?
Day one was good, man. A lot of energy, good numbers. A lot of competition still, man. We're just trying to stack these days. And, like we tell the boys, everybody had a good day one. How we going to come out day two?
There it is. It's funny, man. There's so much practice, and it used to be a break back in the day, in the summer before the first day. Now it just seems like it just keeps rolling along, man. It's not a big separation, but it's important now because now the clock's running.
Yeah, for sure, man. I told my friends, told my family, hey, I'm at the point of time now in the season where I wake up, I don't even know what day it is because it seems like everything's just rolling, everything's flying, man. Yeah, I remember when I was in school, you kind of had like a break or like a build up to like the first day, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like, Man, we start the first day in the middle of the week, man. We still had practice Monday, Tuesday. So we just rolled around yesterday and today, treat that like a normal week.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Now, we're going to bring on the Cabarrus County Encyclopedia. He knows so much about this county, and I'm glad to have him on the show. The engine, Kenneth McClain.
What's up, man? Pep, I'm just worried about the Rocky River Ravens right now, but there are a lot of really good athletes in Cabarrus County that I'm glad you're highlighting. Kids who work their butts off and excellent coaches for that matter. So tonight's gonna be a fun night.
Hey Pep, you see the highlight video the Rocky River guys threw out there?
Ooh, crisp.
Yeah. Hey man,
Webb was looking for himself in the video, man. He was trying to get some more cut-ups for his coaching highlights.
Hey, I thought you had a camera guy out there for the 7-on-7, man. I didn't know. I didn't know, man.
Yeah, we can't get on Webb and them coaching highlights just yet now.
Hey.
I forgot about that. Oh boy, man, we might have to come back to that in slime time because
it's slime time. It's crazy.
I can't think of any. Kenneth, have you ever made a coaching highlight?
No.
Hey,
I've never made one either. Never.
I'm just hoping to have a few highlights this year, Pep. Maybe show some, me smiling or something during a game. That'd be nice. Live a game.
Oh man! All right. Well, all these Cabarrus County guys are wanting us to get started. So let's get started here. I'm gonna get we're gonna jump right into the rankings and we're gonna talk about these teams. So without further ado, these are Pep Man's Cabarrus County preseason rankings. So I'm gonna let y'all soak that in for a minute. And if I'm wrong, please feel free to comment, share why I'm wrong, and if you feel so inclined, share your rankings.
Can the chat administrator put the Pep Man is wrong email?
Yeah.
Please,
you're gonna get a lot of that, Pep. You're gonna get a lot of that. You're gonna get a lot of those emails, Pep.
Well, like I said last week, I've had 7 emails sent to me in the history of that email address. People tend to be a little more direct than email these days.
That's true.
Yeah, comments are very strong, and a great former coworker, said a phrase to me. Words hurt. Words can hurt. I'm just kidding. Here is the email address. Pep is wrong at gmail.com. If you don't think the rankings,
big bucks.
What's the
Pep, obviously number one, the J.M. Robinson Bulldogs, they're the cream of the crop. Until someone proves otherwise, Coach Seidel has done an incredible job over there. He has incredible talent. He's got a great coaching staff. And it seems like every year they continue to build and build and build and build and build, right? And when you're a winning program, middle school kids want to go there and other kids want to transfer there. I mean, let's keep it real, man. The greatest, we talked about recruiting last week, man. The greatest recruiter of them all is wins.
Mm-hmm.
And you win and kids want to go there, and parents who are moving in from out of state are going to move in. Coach Seidel has something really special going there. I mean, he's loaded at multiple positions. I mean, he has positions deep on the depth chart. It's going to be hard for a lot of really talented players to get on the field. Number 2 with Northwest Cabarrus, Coach Mormon. Man, he's done a phenomenal job since he's gotten there. Was Coach Mormon been there maybe 4 years now?
Yeah, I think so. Wow.
It
doesn't feel like that, but I think
4 years.
Right.
And they're as good as a lot of teams in the area for sure. I think, and then when you get to kind of that next group, you've got some question marks. I think going into the season, 3 months ago, I would have probably thought that the Mount Pleasant Tigers were we're ready to have a 10-plus win season, maybe even our 11 or 12 win season. And they've had some movement, man. Who would have ever thought that transfers would hit Mount Pleasant, North Carolina? Tiger Town, man. One town, one team is their motto. But they've been hit hard this summer, which sucks for Coach Crosby. Coach Crosby is a friend of mine. He coached with me at Central Cabarrus. Also have other good buddies on the staff, including Coach Bevilacqua, who was at Central Cabarrus most recently. His son is there, just committed to Catawba. I think they have a phenomenal young quarterback. I won't say his name yet because he's still fighting for position there, but I think they still have the Regal kid at running back who does everything. But they lost some big pieces that 3 months ago they were counting on. The Concord Spiders was the benefactor of one of those pieces.
We'll see that here shortly.
I think gives the Concord Spiders an edge, and besides the fact that I played there, one of my former players and then a kid who coached with me, Nate Santiago, is taking over as the offensive coordinator. They just had a huge hiring pickup with Coach Charlie Gray, who's now over there coaching the offensive line.
Oh yeah,
the Spiders are tremendously better just because Coach Gray is going to be on the sidelines there. And, Coach Shepard's probably entering his 5th year. Does that sound right, Pep?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Been there for a minute. West Cabarrus, you've got, a coach who did incredible things at Huff, and Coach Jenkins, another good buddy of mine who's taken over West Cabarrus team that lost a lot of players from last year's team, but they have a returning quarterback who got them into the playoffs and was, I believe, 1 or 2 plays away from winning that playoff game.
Right.
And then Canyon Cougars have been the benefactors of a whole bunch of fluidity around the county already. And then, if I'm being honest with you, I think Central Cabarrus, Pep, is going to be a surprise, man. Central Cabarrus has athletes all over that field. Don't be surprised if Central Cabarrus wins 7 or 8 football games. I mean, they have Coach Kiefer, who, retired in North Carolina, went down to South Carolina, retired in South Carolina, and now he's back in North Carolina, his alma mater. So he's got a lot to prove. But the Vikings have some incredible skilled talent over there. They were unfortunate they had some guys move, and it wasn't like movement we've talked about. They had guys move for legitimate reasons, move out of state even, which is going to hurt them a little bit. But I think Central Cabarrus could be the surprise team of the mix. I mean, Cox Mill, Coach Holmes, one of my favorite people in the world, man. We play them week 2, so I'll just leave it there. Coach Holmes, I love you, man. I'm pulling for you for the other 9 games. And then, one of my good buddies, Coach Riggins, is now the OC at Hickory Ridge. It's a tough situation, man. The transfer bug has hit them hard this summer and hit them hard this week even. But Coach Gentry, new head coach there, can coach his butt off. Man, I coached against him when I was at Central and he was at Northwest. He's a phenomenal coach, and there's no doubt that Coach Gentry and Coach Riggins are going to have those guys ready to play regardless of who left. They're going to get the guys there ready to play, man, because those guys can coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
man.
Big guy, you want to add anything?
I would say, man. Shout out to Coach Gentry, man, the guy, Shelby guy. I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do with his program. Shout out, like I said, like J.M. Robinson on top, man. You see the picture of Smooth L.J. Watson, man. He eclipsed over 1,000 yards last year, and they still have a lot of guys on offense that they're going to have coming back. We know they had some key pieces kind of leave and graduate last year from that senior group, but like I said, like a guy like Coach Seidel who puts a great staff together and win games. He got a lot of good talent. A lot of kids want to come play for whoever's winning. So, also shout out to the DB coach down there, Coach Denzel Gilmore. So I know them guys are going to be ready to go. They're going to be ready to go for the challenge, even though if they did lose a lot of key players in areas, when you have a good program, you always have next man up mentality. Shout out to I see you got Concord at 4. Shout out to my guy, Darren Shepard. Coach Shepard is doing a good job with his program, trying to build it and put it into the right direction. But I do have I won't say where it's from, But I did get some hate mail.
Oh,
I got some hate mail, Pep.
okay.
It says he's seen your ranking that you have for their school.
Okay.
He said, tell him stop being lazy and actually do some research.
Oh, wow.
Because having Mount Pleasant at 5 and Concord at 4 lets me know we don't do no research.
Okay.
Now, I won't say what school he's from.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a head coach. He's not a head coach. I won't let
Okay.
you know what school he comes from. But, all I say is, like we always say about these rankings are only things for locker room. Your kids still got to go out there and play and do the job. So, make sure you can back up everything you have to say about wherever your position may be right now.
Yeah, Pep. Oh, sorry, what happened?
But then also Mount Pleasant always is a good scary team. I think they kind of fly under the radar because they're in Cabarrus County, but they're kind of like secluded in their own little small spot.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Shelby always had a lot of tough battles trying to beat Mount Pleasant, even going to Mount Pleasant. I mean, I remember I rode by one day, see that nice turf field they got out there. They got a lot of it's beautiful, man. They have a lot of great community and fan support. So Mount Pleasant always one of those sneaky games where you got to come to play at all times.
Right.
Like with Cannon, with Cox Mill. I know my guys down there now. Quentin Chavez, wide receiver coach. I know he's been raving about how good that wide receiver room is. He said he feels like their wide receiver room is easily the best in Cabarrus County.
Okay.
So,
tell me some more scout reports on them, Webb, man. Just shoot me a text.
Hey, what's been funny, Kenneth? He been asking me about y'all, and I've been like, hey, you just got to come ready to play. I said, I can't really play. I said, you got to be ready to play when you play Rocky River. I said, they're going to be tough, fast, and physical, so you better be ready.
Webb, talking about the text he got, I got a text that said, hey, you conveniently forgot to mention the A.L. Brown Wonders. So I guess I better go back to them. Somebody called on me. I will say this, Coach Harden, I think he's entering his third year there. Their JV team was phenomenal last year. I believe they were 9-1, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure the child administrator knows that off the top. 9-1 or somewhere around that. They've lost some really good talent, especially from the offensive side of the ball. They lost an SEC offensive lineman to Auburn. They lost CJ Gray that just got drafted. They lost the running back, Mekhi Heron, who was in the Queen City Bowl. They've lost some really good pieces on the offensive side, but from everyone that I've heard from, their JV team might have been the best JV team. And for sure, Cabarrus County is what I've been told. So excited to see what those guys can do. Memorial Stadium. Going back to Webb, man, if you've never been to a game at Mount Pleasant High School on a Friday night, it's an experience. The entire town, their motto is one town, one team. And legit, the entire town of Mount Pleasant shuts down, buddy. It is a fun time. The stands are rocking. Everybody is wearing blue and gold. My little boys play football in Mount Pleasant on Saturday morning. Everybody wears blue and gold still to the youth football games. They sell Mount Pleasant Tigers shirts at the youth football games, and the line is always deep to get those shirts, man. Mount Pleasant's a special place.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Whoever sent you that text, I welcome you to please join the show and share your rankings, and we can analyze your opinion.
Because I'll have to tell you off the show where it came from. Then
okay,
I can't say it on the show because it's gonna provide even more, So.
Well, that's okay. CFI has never dodged or ducked any smoke. We were the only show to have a duck and smoke segment.
Hey, I told him to comment how he felt, and I'm sure you will give him an answer.
For the record, these are Pep Man's rankings. Don't nobody be putting my name on these things, man.
Hey, Pep set you up as the Cabarrus County.
When I wasn't coaching.
Hey, Pep set you up as the Cabarrus County historian, so they definitely going to look what Kenneth McClenrock said. Kenneth McClenrock said these. But Pep, for the new guys, for the new viewers, Pep, they said, how do you go about your rank? I try to explain to these guys how you do it, but can you please let everyone know how you go and pick your rankings? So before they have no questions.
I mean, it's basically like a power poll. So in the order each team above the team below them, I think would beat them head to head. So I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I don't really know what else to say.
And tell them, Pep, you ain't digging up on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, trying to figure out who's going where in the transfer portal. We ain't looking for all that. These are just your rankings based on how you feel, how good these teams are.
It's a team ranking. It's not player rankings. I mean, I can give you many examples throughout the years of teams that had high level players that did not succeed on the field because football's a team sport. I hate to say it, but the year after Harding won the state championship, they had a ton of talent returning from that team, including Cabarrus Crouch, who was the number one player in the nation at the time. And he ended up getting an ankle injury, and that team did not, they didn't even make the playoffs, the year after that. So, and they had maybe 6 or 7 guys that went to play, college football. So it's not about how many talented guys you have. It's about the cohesion that you can put together, and can they work together in, the team aspect to achieve success. And, quite honestly, J.M. Robinson at number 1, everyone kept telling me, they're rebuilding. No, they're reloading. That's a program. A program reloads, teams rebuild. And that is a football program up there with a good head coach and Jason Seidel and players that are going to, go out and be successful, consistently. They've shown that, throughout his tenure, and I think they're going to do the same thing again, this year.
Have great head coach, great defensive coordinator, great assistant coaches. Shout out to my guy Tevin Barnes, former player, former coached with me. But they do a phenomenal job over there, and the community loves it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Mormon at Northwest Cabarrus. The one thing that I did think about here in the top half of this ranking is stability. You think about those top 5 programs, they all have been relatively stable from a coaching aspect. Now, overall, Cabarrus County has really been hit hard with player movement. And I mean, I think it's probably the most in the state. When you start sitting down and analyzing who has left these teams, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, I think every team on this list, with the exception of J.M. Robinson, has lost some players that, were projected to be on their roster, and some more than others. And, that does have an effect, as far as I'm looking at it from a ranking perspective, it has an effect. But someone said it in the comments earlier. We don't play the games. My rankings don't determine what happens on Thursday and Friday nights. The one thing I will say is there are really good coaches for all these teams. There are some strong coaches, like you said, Kenneth. Even at number 10, Coach Riggins and Coach Gentry, they've proven to be successful. Coach Gentry building up Northwest Cabarrus, years ago to some really high heights. Even when you guys played, that game that we came to over at Northwest Cabarrus,
2018, we're both 7-0.
Yeah,
we lost. He won.
Yeah, but the atmosphere. You just think about that atmosphere. I mean, that was crazy.
Packed house.
Yeah. I mean,
the Northwest student section is another one, buddy. If you haven't seen a student section, you've seen the Northwest Nutties, they call themselves. I'll leave that one alone. Just going nuts on the sideline.
Yeah. Coach Riggins chiming in on about that. I'm sorry, Coach. My bad.
Or the 2019 finish.
Oh, the next year over at you guys. Yeah, were we there for that too?
Yeah. We had them 4th and long, call a timeout, under a minute to go, and they went 60 for the win.
Yeah, that was insane. Those are some classics right there. Let's get a few more comments in since I posted the rankings here. So Where is it here? Luke Sabo says the rankings look good to me. Well, I mean, you're a Bulldog. So. I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I'm getting a lot of hate from the middle, but I ain't getting none from the bottom. I don't want to get it from the top. Appreciate that. Titus Troy, talented running back from Northwest Cabarrus. Good to see you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, Big Steve-O. Yeah, words don't play football. Yeah. Now, I wish I could pin this comment to this whole show because, you know, we said it a lot last week. You know, rankings are just opinions. And then, you know, I don't think people take those words to heart.
Can I just say for a second, go back to where do these rankings come from? I have never been on this show one time where a player commented and immediately Pep didn't know what team he played for, what position he played, and could tell you about that player individually, whether he's been to a CFI showcase camp or whether Petman has interviewed him or whether Petman has watched him practice or whether Petman has watched him play. The reason why Pep is so great at what he does is because he actually knows about these young men. It's phenomenal, Pep. I'm amazed every time you see a name and you immediately say what school they're at and what position they play. It amazes me.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, I do get paid by Prep Red Zone to do that stuff, but you know, it kills me when people go to the comment where, you know, we don't do research.
Yeah, it's not a kid who don't comment and Pep don't know. I do.
If their team was on top, you did all the research, Pep.
Yeah.
Talking to the head of officials yesterday, I was like, you know, I get it, man. Every call y'all make, half the stadium loves you. The other half of the stadium thinks you're an idiot. And it doesn't matter what call it is. Exactly half the people are going to think you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I think you're a genius, man.
You know, I appreciate that, Kenneth. It's funny, you know, the work does get done. Now, my opinion might be wrong, and you can disagree with that all day, but you know, we're gonna do the work on CFI. There ain't gonna be no lazy takes. That's for sure. Colum Stewart. I mean, I feel you with the argument here, Colum. He is the edge at West Cabarrus. Those were some impressive victories last year. We were at the A.L. Brown game when the young man made the last second field goal to win. You know, to the point when Kenneth was kind of breaking down all the rankings, you know, West Cabarrus lost a lot of kids. You know, that's a fact, including the star running back who ran for, I think, over 1,200 yards, Dalen Fuller. But I also agree with Kenneth, you know, when you got Matt Jenkins leading your program, and there's still some talent there, including yourself, Colum, that, you know, you guys are going to be in the mix. I think you guys are going to be in the mix. And it would surprise me if you weren't, you know. And
the Matt Jenkins coach team is going to be an extremely well-coached team, and they're going to be ready to get after
it. And Matt Jenkins is a friend of the show. He's a friend of the show. He's been on the show. He was a co-host one time. he might text me now. What else we got here in the comments? Jared Holmes checking in. I guess he don't. Well, why does he not like you, Adam?
You know, just them Bessemer City guys, man. You know, they don't do too much down there, man. That's one of them places you just keep riding through. You don't need to stop and visit. You just keep riding through.
Hey,
Got one exit long, man.
On the Cabarrus County Show. Mizzle, Coach Moore. Good to see you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, this is a bit of a hot take. James Brown says A.L. Brown has been dodging Robinson for years. Won't even schedule them. They're 15 minutes apart, and A.L. Brown's, well, I guess he does not like A.L. Brown. Okay. Wow. Their schedule's extremely weak. I don't know. I have to. Well, I mean, now we gotta give them some grace because they were placed in a conference that's not, you know, very strong at first glance, and that's the majority of their games. Now I know they usually challenge themselves, in the preseason, and I don't think this year is any different. I can't remember exactly who they're scrimmaging, but I remember seeing that it was going to be a pretty good opponent. I remember last year they scrimmaged Kings Mountain, and I think who was the other team they scrimmaged? They were all playoff teams. I remember that for sure. So they don't back away. Their first game this year is against Porter Ridge, and Kenneth, you know how good Porter Ridge is.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Then they got the rivalry against Concord, and then they're at Mooresville. So I don't think their non-conference is a cakewalk.
Wait, say it again, Pat. You said Porter Ridge,
Concord, and then at Mooresville.
And somebody said that's weak.
Yeah.
I don't think they know football very much.
Yeah, they can't pick the conference they're in. The state does that. That's realignment. They can pick the non-conference, and I think they picked a pretty good non-conference schedule there. So I don't know about that one, James. I don't know about that one. Let's see here. Zayflix says A.L. Brown is my sleeper team. Okay. I don't know if number 3 is a sleeper, but I hear you, Zay. I hear you. Let's see. Hudson Irwin's dad. Hudson Irwin is the quarterback in Northwest Cabarrus.
He's a stud, buddy. He is good. We saw him in person, Pat.
You might see something with Hudson here in the next slide here. Stay tuned there. Chris Hughes checking in. Good to see you, Chris. I saw Chris at the media day that I mentioned earlier at Huff High School.
He was the Southwestern Athletic Conference moderator for us yesterday, Pat.
He told me.
Did an incredible job.
Yeah.
Finished ahead of schedule.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Airborne came out. He was moving.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Yeah. J.M. Robinson, Kings Mountain. Yeah. So I mean, they're not running from people at A.L. Brown. That's for sure. I don't think that it's a weak schedule by their choosing. For sure. Let's see here. James Johnson, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Appreciate it. I see some junk talking going on in the comments, so I'll let y'all have that. All right. Well, James Law, I will address this real quick. We talked about the conference selections, in the off season. I still don't understand them. But we got what we got at this point. I'm sure, if they had another choice, they would be in a different setup. And we're talking about Huff here, but yeah, we got what we got at this point, man. Okay. All right. Some Cabarrus County players to watch. First, on the defensive side of the ball, some of those names have been in the comments. Callum Stewart, the edge at West Cabarrus, mentioned he's really, really good off the edge as far as a pass rusher, especially. Aiden Black, picture.
Aiden Black, Pat. Aiden Black.
Yeah. Really good penetrator on the interior. Great get off hand usage. He's got some offers that have been well deserved. Landon Harding is a big time talent, young man. Has picked up several Division I offers already. He can also play some tight end and H-back on offense. Gavin Yao from A.L. Brown was their leading tackler returning for his senior year. John Tavian Harrison, West Cabarrus, good-sized kid. He played well at the CFI Carolinas Mega Showcase. And man, he just commented, going with his buddy right there, Callum. That's his nickname, K1. Isaiah Woodburn picked up an offer from Virginia Tech, and he also was at the CFI Carolinas Mega Showcase. He's going to be a talent, playing on both sides of the ball, some DB and receiver. Same thing with Josiah McLean at Northwest Cabarrus. Talking about Mount Pleasant earlier. I was at Mount Pleasant when Northwest Cabarrus played them last year. Josiah had a 100-yard pick six touchdown in that game. Good size at 6'2". He's a real talent. Cameron Tucker at J.M. Robinson is a track star, fast as anything. He's coming back. He's picked up some offers as well. Defensive lineman Camden Rice at Hickory Ridge is a 6'2", 220 kind of hybrid player. You can play outside on the edge or inside at D tackle. Infinite Morrow, Central Cabarrus, we're not related, but he's a talented player, good sized kid. I think
he's 6'5", 270, Pat.
Yeah, is
he moving? Players, a freshman on that state championship team.
Oh wow.
He was a stud offensive tackle. They've moved to tight end right now, and
that was what I was going to ask you. I think I saw tight end and D end.
He's pretty good, man.
Yeah, good stuff. Sam Harrington at Concord, defensive lineman I saw at the Catawba camp. He moves very well in space. Trey Floyd, Cannon, you're gonna see him on playing some receiver and DB. He was a top 5 selection at the winter CFI showcase. And then Aiden Smith at Mount Pleasant, he's a tackling machine. Hope to see him on the field doing his thing again here pretty soon. Now, I know there are a lot more defensive players in Cabarrus County. I can only list so many. So if there's someone you feel like I missed, you can put them in the comments, or feel free to shoot me a message. One of the things that we love to do, not only at CFI, but Prep Reds on North Carolina, is highlight deserving players who need recognition. So please make sure to let me know if someone deserves recognition who's not on this list, so we can get them the attention that they deserve, for sure. Natasha Black checking in. There you go. Robinson number 1. Yeah, they were number 1.
That's a good mama right there, Pat.
Yeah, very nice lady. We went to J.M. Robinson back-to-back for the playoff games last year, and she greeted me both times. Always pleasant. Got a good son there too. Good stuff. And thank you, Chris Hughes. A.L. Brown with scrimmage at Myers Park. So yeah, once again, they ain't running from any smoke. Thank you, Kalum. I got you. I appreciate that help with the pronunciation. It's locked in now. It's locked in. All right. You guys got any defensive guys off the top of your head you think want to highlight Cabarrus County? Or is that pretty comprehensive?
Out of my jurisdiction.
I got you. We'll go to the offense side of the ball. There's Hudson Irvin we were just talking about. Had a pretty good performance at the CFI Carolinas Mega Showcase back in May. That's where that picture came from. 6'5". Good strong arm, good accuracy. I think this might be a breakout season for him, for sure. Carson Black, Concord, we kind of alluded to
Colin Black.
Oh, good gracious. I'm thinking about you know who I'm thinking about?
Carson Black.
He was at Nation Ford in South Carolina. That's what I was thinking about, and it got flipped. I'll get that straight before we put that out on social media there, Mr. Black. Sorry about that. But he's a really good player right there for the Spiders, and that's really going to help their offensive production. Jonte Harrison, West Cabarrus, really big, strong kid. Kenneth talked about him earlier. We were talking about the rankings and breaking that down. He was the kid that almost won that playoff game for West Cabarrus last season.
Had some great throws in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucas Lopez at Cannon. Really good young quarterback. Freshman year last year had a ton of yardage and touchdowns. Cannon's got their guy, hopefully for the next 3 years behind center. DeMonte James is a speed demon. He just picked up his, I think it was his first offer from Wingate recently at their last camp here in July. He's going to be a big piece of that Vikings attack offensively. And then J.M. Robinson with 2 stud running backs and L.J. Watson and Ennis Styles. An embarrassment of riches in the Bulldog backfield. Both of those guys might rush for 1,000 yards. I think that happened last year.
It might have happened last year, buddy.
Yeah, I think that might have happened last year.
Ennis has been a man child since he was in the womb.
I believe Ennis was hurt. He got hurt last year, right? Was he the one who got hurt for them?
No, LJ hurt his ankle in the playoffs.
No, is Ennis like the young running back? He gonna be like a sophomore?
Yeah,
I believe he got hurt last year, right?
I don't know. He had a heck of a season when he was hurt.
Yeah. Sion Lattimore at Cox Mill, he did some good things at the CFI Carolina's mega showcase back in May. Jameer Langley coming back at A.L. Brown. He's a really good receiver with good speed, nice agility in the open field. Gavin Ramirez is another talented 6'4" kid at Cox Mill who I think
he was good at the showcase, buddy.
Yeah. I really like him. I don't know, necessarily, what it is sometimes with some guys that fly under the radar, but I think he's under the radar. I really think he can be a
junior Pep.
He'll be a senior.
He's going to be a senior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told him like in the NBA that second week, if he wanted to take a load management game and just sit out, I'd be okay with that, man. That Joker, he's a big old youngin'.
Load management. Elijah Shue, yeah, committed to Elon. Congratulations.
He's a big old kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Another big old kid, Brandon Bevilacqua, big offensive lineman now at Mount Pleasant.
Stud.
Yeah, committed to Catawba. Congratulations to Brandon. That's awesome. And another good-sized kid, Gavin Pacino, Hickory Ridge, I believe 6'3", 260 pounds. It's going to be a big piece of that Raging Bull offensive line up front. We got some names here on the comments. Jamel Lattimore sharing Jameer Martin, DB at A.L. Brown. I'll put him on the list. Check him out. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the he was at Independence. I think that's who they're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, good kid, man. Good kid, man. Nice size for a corner. Very athletic. He can go up and get the ball. Yeah, I believe that's who it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jamel. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Coach Lattimore says it. It's truth, buddy. Believe it. That's gospel. That Joker.
Okay.
He's the man.
The
Carolina Bears. He knows football in the area.
Good deal.
Coach Lattimore, I believe that's who that is. If I'm wrong, correct me, please.
Yeah.
If they're good in Cabarrus County, they probably played for Coach Lattimore. Real talk.
Wow. Okay. Good deal, man. I definitely got him down. He's saying yes. So
my boy Josh. Shout out to Josh, man. Good kid, great kid, man. Good ball player, man. I'm excited to see how he does this year. I forgot that's where he ended up going.
Now, Pep, I'm going to throw out a couple names here. I'm going to go to Central Cabarrus.
Go ahead.
Lucas Flieger, who is a phenomenal athlete. I mean, I think he ran a 4.6 at App State. He had a 32-inch vertical. He's got a cannon of an arm at quarterback. But here's the crazy thing, Pep, they've got another quarterback, Dylan Ryan, who is equally as talented. I think those two jokers would start at 60, 70% of all high schools in North Carolina. Both of them, either one of them, they're both studs. So Central Cabarrus is loaded at the quarterback position. You talked about DeMonte earlier as a running back, a speedster. He can fly. I think he was a sub 4.5 guy at every camp he went to this summer. They're also using him, putting him out wide in empty sets. And, Joker, he's played some wide receiver over the years. Coach Riggins last year had him end up with, I think, 12 or 1,300 yards running buck and counter. So he can run the football. He can run routes. He can catch the football. I wouldn't be surprised to see him on a bunch of special teams. They're going to try to get the ball in his hands any way they can. But two more names, man. There are some good quarterbacks in Cabarrus County this year.
Excellent. Good stuff. Thank you, Kenneth. We got a couple more here. Now, Coach Seidel has told me about Ari Greenfield.
Here's another one, buddy. And they've got another one after him at J.M. Robinson. And they've got another one after. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, let me tell you, they got a stud JV quarterback. He's He's good, buddy. Brennan Huff.
Okay.
Ari came through Roberta Road Middle School. They were undefeated. The school was brand new. They were undefeated the first year of the school. They were undefeated the second year of the school. So all that Joker has done is win since he got into the 7th grade. Ari's a good football player.
Yeah, a lot of people have been telling me Ari is going to be like big time. And, I watched him warm up, in the playoffs. He's got good technique. Throws a pretty ball. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see him. Also, Justin Smith, big offensive lineman. Yeah, he's been tagging me on stuff on Twitter. And, he looks good. He looks good. A good sized kid, like 6'3", 280, I believe. He's already on the list. He's already on the list, trust me. We got a comment. Now, I do know this young man, Alex Williams, Concord. I saw him at the Catawba camp. He's very talented O-line, D-lineman. I interviewed him when I went to Concord last year. He's a team leader for them. Coach Shepard is very, very high on him, and he's going to be a big piece of their success for sure. That's good call out right there, Oliver. I appreciate that. We got from John Tay, Jaden Reed, and Kamari McRae. I presume that's from West Cabarrus, John Tay. If it's not, let me know. But those two guys I'll put down on my list. We'll take a look at those guys as well. And then Jason Bass. What's up, man?
Let's get him ready. We're ready. We're moving defensive line, defensive end. They'll be harassing quarterbacks. Guarantee it by the time they're 4.
Man, y'all gonna pop a Bass, man. That's crazy. I'm surprised he ain't sending them over to the Chambers, man.
Now bring him over to the good-looking orange. The black tops, man. It's good-looking colors.
It's good to see you, Jason. Hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you, man. Calum with another comment here. Daniel Hutton, all-conference OL at West Cabarrus. I appreciate that. We'll put Daniel on the list. And I do know Jaden Covington at J.M. Robinson, 6 foot 280, talented offensive lineman. I believe interior prospect. He's a good player. That's a good one right there. Cabarrus Stallions, Coach Pringle. Appreciate this right here, man. We got Thomas James at quarterback, Avery Harris at wide receiver, and Thomas Connolly at tight end and DN. So, Coach, shoot me their information if they're on Twitter. We'll take care of them. You've been a good resource, and you tell the truth. So, some guys just want to put people out there, and you put guys out there that deserve it, man. So, yeah, let me know on that one. And then Jamel Lattimore says the majority of these kids are products of the Carolina Bears. Kenneth, that's a good call out by you on that one. Yeah, good youth football, man. Youth football programs are big, man. They're big, and there's a number of them in the area that do a great job and consistently produce players that go on to do well in high school football, and then even further beyond that. I was at Samari Matthews' commitment not too long ago, and his youth football coach was there, and I thought that was really cool. It was really cool to show that love, because that is where it starts. That's where it starts. There's a lot of toxic things in youth football, but I'm glad to see that there's still some good. There's still some good in it for sure, man. And maybe we can get Lattimore on the show one day. Kind of talk about that youth football aspect and what goes into developing, these guys, have success on the higher level. Keyshawn Burnett, athlete at Northwest Cabarrus. That's a good call, Jacob. He was all conference last year, I believe, as a defensive end. So yeah, he's on the list already. But that's a good call right there. And And Coach Riggins wants to shout out John Whitaker and what he does at Harrisburg. I hear a lot about Harrisburg youth football, man. I mean, I think those guys must be pretty good because everywhere I go in Cabarrus County, they're talking about that Harrisburg. Was it Harrisburg Cowboys? I believe.
Harrisburg Cowboys. Yeah.
Harrisburg Cowboys.
Yeah, they must be doing a really good job.
They got a stud 9U quarterback, Pat. We'll be talking about him in a couple of years, but I'll leave him alone too.
Well, that's the deep pull right there. 9U analysis. Oh man,
you got to start early, man.
No, not on this show. London McElroy gets a shout out. Wide receiver at Jan Robinson. Now, we talked about Jan Robinson losing some guys. There's an opportunity in that receiving core because they lost Brian Rowe, who's now at South Carolina. They lost Testa, and then they lost Barnett as well. Those three are all gone. So someone's gonna have to catch the ball for Mr. Greenfield there. So keep my eye out on that one. Appreciate that. All right. Anything else in Cabarrus County? I think we did a good job with that.
I think you batted 100%, Pep, except for the ones you were wrong on.
If only what you said counted the most. My phone has been going off like crazy. I'm scared to see what's on it. All right, let's jump over to Rowan County and knock these guys out. So first of all, in the preseason rankings, I'm giving Salisbury the benefit of the doubt. A little known fact, I live in Rowan County now. So
be careful, Pep. You gotta be careful now.
Well, I don't think they know me that well yet. But the cool thing is I get to get out, around town and, I'll see people and I kind of ask, just people in the community, what's the football like? They don't know me up here. And, the big word is always about Salisbury and they're consistently good. Coach Trevette has done a great job with that program. And I give them the benefit of the doubt, even though they lost Hank Webb, who was their everything guy last season. I still think they've got some really good talent. We're going to see some of the guys on the next slide that they've got coming back that is going to make a big impact. But the big word is West Rowan. People are feeling like that program is really strong this season. They feel very confident over there. Coach Kraft has done a great job in building that program back up. And they've got their quarterback coming back. We'll see him on the next slide. And they got a big receiver to throw him the ball. And they got some good defensive guys that are returning as well. So West Rowan is a team that feels very confident. They feel, like this is their year to come back on the scene very strong. So I think that might be a tight race between 1 and 2 there. North Rowan, everything I think about North Rowan is offense. They find a way to light the scoreboard up consistently. They did lose their quarterback, who was very talented, and he was a big piece of what they've done the last couple of years. So they have to replace him. But they got some skill guys that are coming back that are gonna, be a big part of what they do offensively. And they've got a couple guys defensively as well that are returning that are going to be a big part of that also. South Rowan coming off a playoff appearance, their first playoff appearance since 1984, I believe. They did a great job in achieving that. Their linebacker, who was a big key to their defense, he's back once again this year. And they've got a couple guys that we saw up close at the CFI Carolinas Mega Showcase that we're going to talk about on the next slide, who are very talented. And that team, I think, is has a chance to be even better this year. Carson, another young team, has got some guys returning. They have a running back that I really, really like, that a lot of people don't know about, who I think has potential to be really special. And with their offense where they run the ball a ton and try to control the clock, that's going to be a major asset for them. And then East Rowan, even East Rowan, people feel like this year is going to be a year where they start to, ascend as well. So I think overall for Rowan County, I think the football is going to be a lot better. The rankings, may look similar to what they were last year, but I think the level of football for all of these teams is going to be a lot better for sure. And I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we had any coaching changes here. I think all these coaches are back.
All the same. Yeah, all the same.
Yeah.
You've got a second-year coach at East Rowan. But, yeah, all the coaches are returning. We got to see Salisbury a few weeks ago in a 7-on-7. They're extremely fast, extremely physical. They play with a lot of aggression. They fly around to the football. I mean, Salisbury is one of those strange schools where they could win a state championship in football, state championship in basketball, but also win it in girls tennis and boys golf at the same exact time. I mean, they have this really weird mix of kids there. It's a really phenomenal mix. Another amazing place to play on Friday nights. Beautiful field, beautiful facilities. I mean, the turf is always, well, all these schools for that matter, buddy. You won't find better turf in North Carolina than what Rowan County schools do. West Rowan, man, Coach Kraft, I've heard lots of good things about him over the years. I don't think I've ever met him, but the people up there really seem to love him. I've said this for years that North Rowan has 400 kids in the building and 600 of them are athletes. I mean, it's incredible what North Rowan is able to do. They just got guys that fly around all over the place, always well coached. They're always super athletic. Coach Walsh at South Rowan, I remember we had him on the show right after he got the job.
Yeah.
Had their best year. You talked about it, made the playoffs for the first time in forever. And coming off of that success, they've had some, maybe for the first time in a long time, kids moving into South Rowan.
Yeah.
To go and be a part of something that's special brewing there, man. Coach Walsh, incredible coach. Got to work with him a little bit at East Rowan, and then the head coach at Carson, Jonathan Lowe, J. Lowe. Man, I'm telling you what, when he was 20 years old, I told people that he'll be a head coach before he's 30. And come to find out I was way off. I think he was 26 when he got the head coaching job. I think it's his fourth year already over there. So he may just now be turning 30. But J-Lo is a phenomenal coach, man. I mean, he does things the right way. The community over there loves him. His players love him. They play hard for him. And then, East Rowan, they've got a pretty good wide receivers coach. I think he's the JV offensive coordinator, maybe even the JV head coach. But Seth Wyrick, whose name is littered all over the North Carolina High School Athletic Association record books as a receiver. His mom taught there for 30 plus years, coached every sport there. His aunt was a big time basketball coach there. He had uncles who coached track there. He coached basketball there. In fact, his uncle's back coaching basketball there. But a phenomenal family in the eastern part of Rowan County. But you said it, Pep. I mean, football in Rowan County right now is on the upswing, buddy. And go back to East Rowan. They didn't win a game on varsity last year, but their JV team was really, really, really good. And then their 9th grade class won the middle school conference championship 2 years in a row, led by a young quarterback, freshman. Remember this name, Pep. We'll be talking about him in a year. Nolan Rowell, stud quarterback, and he's going to help lead this resurgence of East Rowan football over the next couple of years.
Awesome. Good stuff. In the comments here, Travis Watson says they made the playoffs in 2009. Well, either way, it was a long time. I thought it was 84 because I felt like we talked about it on the show.
Take that, Pep. Take that. You don't know everything, man.
It's okay.
Speaking raw, man.
He probably was on that team too, Pep. So you gotta make sure.
That might be true. Jaden Arthur, the young running back at South Rowan, says they come together really nice and they're going to shock some people. Okay, we hope to see it. Coach Riggins says Coach Walsh done an incredible job at South Rowan. Echo that sentiment. And then Pedro Truesdale, good to see you, Coach, says North Rowan will rise to the top. All right.
BGN, that's what they say over there, Pat. Big Green Nation.
Okay.
I remember we played North Rowan in high school, man. They was doing all that BGN talk, and they was undefeated. I forgot the running back they had. He had over 2,000 yards that year, his senior year.
What'd you do to him, Webb?
Yeah, we held him to like 70.
Talk that talk, man.
Hey, funny story, fun fact, Pep. We had, this is back when kind of Twitter got popular, right? Around my senior year of high school. We had a Twitter riot. Like, we started a Twitter riot going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Me and some of my teammates with some of their teammates. The game had to be heavily secured. That's how crazy it got. That's how crazy it got. One of the best, one of my probably funnest games I ever played in high school, my senior year. North Rowan, they was at the time, they might have been 13-0, 14-0. We went over there and smacked them. But shout out to, hey, I got love for North Rowan, man. My guy Jarvis Miller, who was on here earlier, he just now got the head coaching job there for girls basketball. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome, man. All right. Well, let's take a look at some Rowan County players. So that's the returning quarterback for West Rowan, Brant Graham. Good sized kid. His highlights are strong. I think he's going to be a really good player this season. Talking about players moving into South Rowan, Lincoln Carlberg, quarterback, is one of those guys.
Got to see him throw live a couple of weeks ago at the Kadama camp, actually.
Yeah, there you go. JoJo Tarver, North Rowan, returning running back. It's going to be a big piece of what they do offensively. We're talking about remembering the name. I think Damon Broussard at Carson. He was an all-conference running back as a freshman. You don't see that very often. I love the kid's highlights. I was trying to get him to the CFI showcase. It didn't work out. That's how much I think, this kid he's gonna be something. Athlete Asher Tesh for East Rowan is gonna play some receiver and linebacker and be a big part of what they do. Jalen Johnson.
Is that the head coach's name, Pep? Tesh? I know Tesh. I know the name. That's the name I know up there. I don't know why. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If anyone knows, feel free to comment. Jalen Johnson at Salisbury had, I believe, over 60 catches last year for them. It's going to be a big part. He plays some running back and receiver. Brennan Stevenson is the big receiver I talked about at West Rowan. I believe he was 6'2", 6'3", but he's got really good speed. He was a nice deep threat for them last year. Offensive line, defensive line, Tony Dale Pagan at Salisbury. I think I saw he was 6'6", 320 pounds or something like that. So that's why you got to let both sides of the ball right there. Also, Malik Williams at Salisbury, good interior offensive lineman. Be a big piece of what they do up front. The linebacker I was talking about for South Rowan is Owen Smith returning. His all-conference selection last season. Michael Alford also returning for North Rowan. Be a big piece of their defense. Caden Sanders at West Rowan has been working hard this offseason. I think he's going to have a big senior year. Jaden Peters is the leading returning tackler for East Rowan. And then a good skilled defensive back, Ephraim Williams at Salisbury as well. So, and then picture to the right is Jaden Arthur from when he attended the CFI Carolina Showcase.
He did a great job that day.
Yeah, he also did a good job at the Gardner Webb mega camp. He played receiver there and looked really good. So he's a heck of an athlete for sure. Adam, this guy, I guess the North Rowan expert says you're talking about.
Webb is way older than Chambers, man. Chambers came out in 2015.
He was a junior that year. I was a senior. He was a junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's funny,
man.
Nah, man, ain't that old, man. It's funny. I got to. Hey, Pep. So people think it's new how I talk. Pep, somebody just sent me the article that was watching. So I didn't know the camera guy was going. The film guy was going to actually put this in the paper. but I had got in trouble the next day. Well, I did Monday because I found out it was in the paper. I said, now this is a young me. This is after an emotional win. I said we had to wrap him up and put him on the ground. We knew if we hit him a couple times, he'll probably lay down. I don't think he's been hit like this before.
Oh boy.
And then the newspaper guy say, it sounds like these guys have their way with other all-world running backs.
Oh no.
Hey, you give a kid a camera after a win, man. Ain't no telling what they gonna say.
Well, I see.
But he was a good running back though. He was a good running back.
Good deal, man. Caden Sanders, appreciate you watching, man. It's well deserved. I've seen what you've been doing. And you tagged me on a couple things on Twitter, and yeah, just keep the energy, man. You guys should have a really good season over there. I didn't get over West Rowan. I ain't been there since they beat us in the playoffs. It's hard.
It's an hour and a half from everything, Pat. West Rowan, Mount Ulla ain't close to anything.
How long has that been? You said you ain't been there since Harding days.
What year was that? I try to remember. 2010. Man, we went over there. We threw the ball between 20 to 20 really well because they didn't see the pass that much. So we opened it up, but we just couldn't do anything in the red zone. But we did score on them in the first half, and they had like a scoreless streak of like 36 quarters or something at home. It was crazy.
Just in peace to Scott Young, man. He's a good football coach.
Yeah, really good guy. I remember talking to him before the game, and we felt a little disrespect because as soon as the bus pulled up, we got off, and he asked us, "You guys bringing your band?" We said no. We're not bringing our band, but anyway.
now he can disrespect you in a minute. Now, don't.
He's a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy for sure. I think most people would go with that. I mean, the way you win that much at West Rowan, that was impressive.
That said, Pep, I was 1-0 against Scott Young. It was 42-0 in the first quarter and 49-0 at halftime at their place.
Ooh, goodness.
Coach Young was the man, no doubt. Definitely the go to Rowan County football.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Owen Smith, yes, sir. Yeah, you're welcome, man. It's well deserved. You're a heck of a football.
He was at the showcase too, right?
I don't think so. Not the spring.
He came like a year ago, I want to say, maybe 3 showcases.
Maybe. I didn't go back that deep, but I mean,
I remember watching his highlights.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Our friend out west, Travis Rogers, what's up, man? He said he's gonna miss playing North Rowan in the playoffs. Yeah, new classifications, man. Some new matchups. Appreciate you watching, Travis. Hope you're doing well, man. Coach Truesdale at North Rowan, thank you, Coach. He says Nick Morrow, once again, no relation. DB for North Rowan, Dion Norman Jackson at receiver, Kai Walker for athlete. Coach, can you send me their Twitter information so I can make sure I can look those guys up and get them some love? Just shoot them to me in a DM, and I'll take care of it from there, man. I want to make sure those guys get recognized. And that's the same that goes for anyone watching the show, man. If you feel like you got someone that deserves some recognition, man, shoot me their info, please. A Twitter would be just Twitter's I actually prefer. I prefer Twitter because that way if their profile's right, all their information should be on there with the highlights, their height, weight, what class they are, all that stuff. So please shoot me that information if you got someone who's deserving, especially in Rowan County, because I don't get to dig into Rowan that much because Charlotte's so big with so much talent. but this is the best time. We're getting ready to do another rankings update on Prep Red Zone North Carolina very, very soon. So the sooner you can get me the information, the better. And we can, if they deserve, to be ranked, we can get them out there for sure. Coach Tatum weighing in. Walkertown at West Rowan, week 3. Oh, okay. I might have to make a short drive over there. Well, I presume it's short. I mean, like you guys said, Mount
Ola.
That's not short.
Yeah, it's not close to anything. Nothing.
Oh man, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll try to get you, Coach Tatum, I promise. Lindell Porter, appreciate that shout out, man. And I know your son might have some news here pretty soon that we'll be excited to hear. So we'll stay tuned on that for sure. All right. Why didn't that? There we go. Okay. Jared Gatewood, Salisbury at Forest Hills, week 1. That was a good game last year. Yeah, I remember that. High scoring game. Might be the same thing again this year.
Officials better bring some running shoes that night, buddy.
Forest Hills, we'll talk about Union County next week if you were wondering who was next. Charlotte show in 2 weeks. You got some special things cooking up for the Charlotte show already.
Oh Lord. That's gonna be the most viewed show.
Every year it is. Every year it is. You can set your calendars. I believe that date is August 13th for the Charlotte show. And usually it goes about 3 hours. And that's still not enough time.
Be way past my bedtime, pal.
Yeah,
let me know how it goes.
I know. I thought about starting it earlier, but
say nice things about Rocky River. We love you.
Our Dudley guy's here. Good to see you, man.
The Dudley guy here. Does Dudley got anything? Dudley got anything left, or did they all go to Northeast?
Oh, well, I guess we'll find out here in a minute. All right. Let's go to our discussion topic of the night, which is going to be what happened to Parity. Because here's my deal, man. I remember back in the day, and not that long ago, but we used to have a real middle ground in high school football. But now we've got a big half of halves where a lot of teams win big consistently on Friday nights. And then we got the have-nots where teams are consistently trying to build their program. But there is a very shallow middle class in high school football to where, you used to think there could be an upset on most Friday nights, but now you look at games, we used to do predictions. The predictions, we stopped doing them because, we were right way too much. I would struggle trying to find games that were going to be, tough pick 'em kind of games. Because there's just this big class of haves, a big class of have-nots, and very little parity in the middle. So what the heck happened? Why did this just go away? I've got some beliefs, because Harding, when I was there, we were usually in the middle or we were at the bottom. Y'all know the history. I can't run from it. But there were some years where we could go and upset somebody. Like we went on the road and we upset Vance. A year we went 6-4 in the middle there. I got into the playoffs. Almost upset Ashbrook at home, the 3 seed. We lost by 1 on the road. That was probably the toughest loss I've ever had, coaching. But that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen much anymore. But why not? What happened here?
I think me personally, I think that it's just a different era of kids now, right? Like where I'm from, we always prided ourselves on staying together and going to play whoever we needed to play. We didn't really have like a big transfer culture or just like just like we didn't have a lot of kids wanting to leave or wanting to come in or whatever the case may be. We had a lot of guys who all came in together and we all had one goal, was to win. I think you see schools who are always consistent, middle of the pack or at the top, is because they have good feeder systems, they have good fan support, the kids stay in a just great environment. Now you have kids or really parents now who get upset after a year or who get misguided after something happens, or there's so many more new schools people have, and like parents are jumping the gun a lot of times and just moving their kid just to go win. And at the end of the day, I know it's about winning, but I'm not putting my kid in a situation where he's never going to play. Right? I think the most important thing is playing and having playing time and building camaraderie. Like the same thing you see it in the college days. Now it's hard to build team camaraderie if I got a team full of transfers. Like I'm not there long enough to learn about the school, to know the history, to know about like what it means to actually play, right? And the reason why, like for me personally, the reason why when I coached at Shelby and played at Shelby and still now rep Shelby to this day was because that was instilled to me from Pee Wee football, right? So I was telling the coaches here, like we never, one thing, I don't know if it was strategic or how they did it, but we never played our Little League games on Friday nights. We always played on a Saturday. We always played potentially on a Tuesday or like a Wednesday, right? And then as you got older, your middle school games is on Wednesdays. And as you get to high school, your JV games is on Thursdays. So every year we had something to look forward to. Okay, I finally get to play on Wednesday night. I finally get to play on Thursday night if you play JV. And here I am finally playing on Friday night. And everything was a build up to play on that game field under the lights at 7:30 at Shelby High School. So I think that's what a lot of people are missing. It's just the camaraderie, the togetherness, the want to play for actually play for the school in the city, in the area you come from. And, you know, I think you still get it with some places like a Mount Pleasant. Like you still get it at schools like that. And it's like, you know, I think that's kind of the culture we're in now. Kids just trying to leave because it's the cool thing to do.
Yeah, man. I don't know why they did that. Okay. I agree, man. I think there's been something lost, and I'll go solo for this point. I think there has been something lost for playing for the school in your neighborhood, especially in Charlotte. There's so many new schools being built. It seems like there's one almost every 2 to 3 years, and just growing up in the neighborhood, there's so much more. It seems just to be so much more transient in Charlotte, especially, you know, when doing a lot of research for Harding and trying to figure out their Hall of Fame stuff a couple of years ago. You know, a lot of old graduates were just telling me about the pride of the West Side and growing up on Allegheny Street and wanting to be a part of that school that was ingrained in the neighborhood. But now it just seems like some of these schools don't have a connection to where they are. And if you don't have that, then you don't have that big time school pride. And I think a lot of that is lost in Charlotte. You know, if you start thinking about some of the newer schools that are just kind of there. And you know, kids go there, but they're not ingrained in the community just yet. And you know, part of that is just, you know, it takes time to build that. And you know, I think outside of Charlotte, you know, you get into some of the smaller towns that's still there. But you know, it's just not the same, you know, like you said there, Adam. You know, I agree with you, man. Let's go to some comments here that have kind of come in on this topic. And I don't know why the screen keeps doing that. Chris Hawk says transfers, you know, kind of going back to what we were talking about last week. People in the ear, wanting to just win at all costs, more so than anything else. You know, right here, I believe that's Aji1, I think. Like I was just saying, more schools being built that dilute talent, transfer portal.
I've just never bought that argument. The more schools dilute the talent argument. I just think that's a silly argument. But,
yeah, I do too. I mean,
schools are good. they got the same amount of schools in the same county as the other schools who aren't very good. Has nothing to do with the dilution of talent. You know, I've heard Cabarrus County schools make that same argument. It's the silliest argument to me.
Yeah, I mean, if your kids want to leave, they're gonna leave. If they want to stay, they want to stay. I don't think building a new school, like you said, you build a new chance because you build a new school. What's the chances of them being good year one in high school football? That's super rare. You know.
Okay. Yeah, man. I just wish we could do something to bring some parity back because there are teams that you go out there on Friday night and sometimes you just know you're gonna lose. It's hard.
I mean, I think was part of the problem too was, it goes back to like this realignment where like you just telling some schools, hey, you have no chance to win this conference. Right? You just telling schools like, okay, where whatever your dominant sport is, that's probably your only shot of winning the conference.
I'll give you a perfect example of that. You look at and I wrote this article with Prep Red Zone. Union County, their new conference, you got Piedmont in there with a bunch of heavy hitters. And Kenneth, you know who I'm talking about.
Piedmont, man.
I know they appealed, but they didn't win their appeal, and I just don't understand. I don't understand it one bit. But I know, Coach Daniel Dillard. What was his name? He's gonna have those guys ready to go every Friday night, but that's a tough road.
I was talking to someone in the community actually a few weeks ago, and they were telling me how much the kids love Coach Dillard, how good of a job he's doing. So I guess we'll talk about Union County next week. So
that's next week's show. But Chris, it's sad to me, man. It's sad because especially now in the social media social media era where we talk about these games a lot more and there's rankings and all that stuff, and we didn't have that back in the day as much. These kids see that stuff, it gets reinforced, and they go to practice, and the coaches are trying to motivate them and say, hey, if we do this, we got a chance. And the players are like, man, they gonna beat us. They're gonna beat us down, and they walk in the game defeated already. And a couple times a year, I get it, if we playing a high roller, but most Friday nights, a lot of these schools just don't have a chance, and it's hard. And I think that it all feeds into each other because you get those situations, and then you get kids that don't want to, continue to lose, and then they start looking around, and then people start picking off the schools that are losing all the time, and it's a cycle. It's a cycle that continues, and I think realignment tried to fix some of that. We'll see this year if we get some better results from a parity perspective, but I really wish we could find a better balance for some of these guys.
Yeah, but and this, really quickly, Pep, and we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
But you remember, we've talked about this years ago on the show when we first started. It's not very long ago that J.M. Robinson was 0-11.
That's true.
You get a really good coach in D-Rob, who turned that program around the COVID year, and he had that program, 10-win seasons year 2, and I think year 3 as well. And then he leaves and goes down to Georgia. Coach Seidel comes in, and he continues that same winning attitude. A lot can be done with good coaching and building excitement around the kids. At the end of the day, like we said earlier, the greatest recruiter of them all is winning. When you win football games, people are going to want to come to you. And when you win football games and you get kids into college, even more people are going to want to come to you. And that's the secret mesh. I've talked about it with social media. Pep, you've talked about it. We've talked about it ad nauseum on the show. High school coaches have to be on social media. They have to be pubbing their players. They have to be putting out the great things that are going on inside of their program. They have to be putting out kids getting offers. They have to be actively trying to get their kids offers. It's one thing to love on a kid. It's one thing to be the old school hard coach, but it's another thing who can satisfy all the above. And when you look around the state, especially when you look around Charlotte, The coaches who are most successful in this city are typically the coaches who do those things really well. What we're trying to do at Rocky River, for that matter.
Amen to that, brother. Chris Hawkins, the last word on this is that kids and parents are led to think that they have to go to certain schools to win titles and go to college. That topic is a show in itself.
Boy. Show, buddy.
The feedback I got last week was, people don't like us talking about uncomfortable topics. But
it's part of life, man. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes the hard talks.
Yeah. Well, like I said, CFI doesn't run from the smoke, so we'll see it all season. All right. Y'all want to do slime time?
Yeah.
Ken, if you're the host, you hadn't done it in a while.
You know what time it is. It's the only reason why you tune in. Well, no, I shouldn't say the only reason. It's been a while, because I want to come back. You know what time it is. The most influential show in the Southeast on the internet, and the greatest segment of them all. It's Slime Time, where we get off of our chest things that we need to get off of our chest. Did somebody make you upset? Did your local team make you upset? Did your favorite sports team make you upset? Coach Weber, what are you sliming tonight?
I'm sliming the projected Madden rookie ratings. I seen they gave the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, a 71 overall. He is the lowest rated first round number 1 pick ever, they said in the video. And I said, that's crazy. I had the man number 1 overall. You give him a 71. And Cam's Skatebo or Scooby-Doo, how you ever say his name, for Arizona State overall is better than Cam Ward, man. Come on, man.
Wow, a 4th round running back. God almighty. Come on, man.
Cam Scatterbo can play, man. That joker's going to be good. I'll go ahead and go next on this one. I'm going to slime myself. If you watch this show over the years, you know that one of the most important things in my life is my grass. It's my yard. It's beautiful. It's green. It's lush. Sometimes I just go outside and I do grass angels in the front yard just because I can. But I made a conscious decision a few months ago when school got out that I was going to see what my yard could take. I was going to see what could it handle. Now, part of that, in fairness, is because I'm a teacher in the summertime. I don't make any money. Part of that was because while I'm not making any money, both of my twin sons got braces. Good night. How much braces cost. And part of that was just because I was genuinely curious at how thick and lush my grass could stay, because this time last year, it looked like a football field. It was immaculate. Well, the month of June was not too good for people who didn't put stuff down on their yard, particularly fungicides. Fungus happens, lawn disease happens whenever you get a whole bunch of rain, high humidity, high heat, especially when that whole bunch of rain is at nighttime and the water stays on the leaf blades overnight. But because I was seeing what I could do, I didn't put down any fungicides. I didn't put down any fertilizer. I put down nothing. And right now, my yard is looking like a big pile of trash. It is brown. It is disgusting. It's awful. And we are now in the hottest July since the 1940s. And my wife was looking at me the other day, Pep, and she said, is that grass going to grow back over there? It looks mighty brown and mighty thin. And to that, I answered, no, it's not, because it's completely dead. It's not dormant. It is dead to the roots. So I'm sliming myself for thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I thought that I could show up on Friday night and not practice first, because ain't looking too good right now. But there's always, like in the game of football, there's always the next play, the next quarter, the next series, the next season. Fall time hopefully is right around the corner, and I think we'll be banging again come October. But Pep, who you sliming on tonight?
I gotta tell you, Kenneth, I was gonna ask you for some grass advice, but I'm a little skeptical now.
I mean, you come to my house right now, Pep, you can be like, man, this joker ain't never done anything to his yard ever. Uh, it's bad, man. It's bad. It's as bad as it's been in a number of years at the McClellan Rock household. Turf type telefescue is struggling right now.
Well, I would tell you, man, I got a slime drivers. I don't know what's going on in the world, but people are driving so disrespectfully now. It's a damn shame. I mean, every time I come home or if I'm going to work, I'm getting cut off left and right in traffic. People doing 80, 85, miles an hour on the highway, weaving in and out of traffic every day. For a serious moment, we saw the terrible accident on 485, in the Charlotte area. This past weekend, several people lost their lives. I think they said it was the worst accident since the 40s, as far as the tragedy and how many lives were lost. Let's think a little bit behind the wheel, man. I think people are just so much more selfish on the road these days, and it's sad. It's really sad, and it's not safe. And people drive vehicles like they're just indestructible, at high speeds. And let's be a little more considerate of each other, and for yourself, that matter. There's a lot of people on the roads every day with their own lives, and they want to get home safely or get to wherever they're going in a safe manner. So let's be a little more courteous. Let's be a little more respectful. And think about what could happen. Is it that important that you cut someone off to make a right turn? People cut me off and then they're just going nowhere. Like, someone cut me off to get to their house the other day. It's just insane, man. And the lack of respect and the lack of consideration is so sad right now, and we got to do better than that. All right. On that note, man, we're going to shut the show down. We appreciate Cabarrus and Rowan weighing in tonight. I appreciate everybody in the comments leaving their thoughts and their observations for the rankings and the players. Once again, if you have someone that you feel like should be recognized, shoot me a DM on Twitter. That's the best thing you can do with their information. And we'll take a look, and see if they deserve that recognition, and we'll get them out there either through CFI or through Prep Reds on North Carolina. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Union County will be the focus, and we may put some stuff in there for Iredell County as well to make sure they get some recognition before the Charlotte show, August 13th in 2 weeks. Appreciate you guys, and thanks a lot. See you next week.